Welcome to the Control Workpaper demo. In this session, we'll walk through how to complete a standard control workpaper and explore how each section works. Let's get started. As you can see, we've already imported several controls for this demo. Let's click into the MFA control workpaper. A standard control workpaper includes 7 sections by default, which you can see in the left sidebar. An 8th isn't enabled yet, and we will add it in later in the demo. There's also a right sidebar, which we will cover in a separate video. For this demo, we'll walk you through each workpaper section and its functionality. The first section is Assignments, where you list deadlines and who is responsible for completing the work. Click the calendar icon to set the due date for the workpaper testers. Let's choose the 31st of December. Next, open the Testers drop-down to assign a tester to this control workpaper who will be responsible for performing and documenting the test steps. First, we will add a contributor, that is a non-audit/GRC team member, to assist in the test. Click John Smith. You'll notice that John Smith appears as both a contributor and tester. Because he's an external user, he'll receive a magic link sent to his email in order to access this workpaper. You should ensure notifications are enabled for the contributor in the person's database before assigning them a workpaper. Otherwise, they will not receive the magic link. Now let's add an internal user. Click Ella Test. Notice how it didn't add Ella Test as a contributor? That is because this user is an internal user. They will be able to access this workpaper in their My Tasks tab, located on the top left in the navigation bar. This eliminates the need for a magic link. Next is the Control section. This section pulls key attributes directly from the control database, giving the tester a summary of the control before they begin testing. While this section is read-only, you can edit these fields by clicking the blue link icon next to the control heading. This will take you to the control form to make and save changes. The IP information section pulls key reports, data sources, and other fields directly from the control information. IPE, information produced by the entity, refers to the reports or data sources used to perform the control that are often validated during testing for completeness and accuracy. While this section is also read-only, you can edit these fields by clicking the blue link icon next to the control label above that we referenced a moment ago. Next is the testing information section. This is where you capture the key details that define your testing approach, ensuring the scope, timing, and method for performing the test are clearly documented. Let's practice filling it out. Set a start and end date to define the time period covered by your test. Click a start date. Click an end date. Next, we will enter budgeted hours to assist in forecasting resources and maintain efficiency and accountability. Enter the population size to provide reviewer context and input for sample size calculations. Add a descriptive summary of your testing population for reference. Finally, select the sample selection criteria to document the approach utilized. The sample selection dropdown offers 3 options: haphazard, judgmental, and random. This field documents your sample methodology, but does not impact system functionality. A haphazard sample is informally selected manually to approximate a representative sample. It is the easiest method to implement, but is the least robust. Judgmental selection is based on the auditor's professional judgment, often selecting outliers in the population based on size or other characteristic, such as proximity to period end or significant or unexpected transactions. Random selection provides an unbiased sample that gives each item in the population an equal chance to be selected, requiring some form of randomizer. A random sample is preferable to create a representative sample. For this example, we'll choose a sample selection criteria of randomly. The source documentation section provides additional attributes of the source information used in control performance and testing, including who provided the report and a detailed description of it. This information pulls directly from the control, but can be edited in this workpaper view as well. A test of design assesses whether a control is effectively designed to prevent or detect material errors or fraud using walkthroughs and inquiry. It evaluates a single instance of performance, unlike the test of effectiveness, which examines multiple occurrences to confirm ongoing operational reliability. Click the plus icon to expand your test of design team with relevant participants. Select users who are already linked to the project to note their involvement in control performance. For this example, we will choose John Smith. Click Add to confirm your selection of the involved team members. The TOD walkthrough section defines how you performed the initial test of design of the control. It outlines the procedures performed and provides a clear summary for reviewers to understand what information the team collected, where they got it from, and who provided it. After completing the walkthrough, record the observations in the field below. To make your notes sound more professional, you can click the AI icon on the far right. It will refine what you've already written. Let's give it a try. After filling out your draft observations, click the AI icon to see suggested improvements. Here, the AI has refined our observation to use more professional and descriptive language. Click Use Suggestion to apply it. You can also add attachments for complex or image-based support as well. Click the plus button here and then use the standard file selection functionality to upload your evidence. Let's conclude our test of design section by documenting our conclusion determining if the control is designed effectively. Click the drop-down to select an option. Select the appropriate conclusion based on the evidence collected and work your team performed. By default, the test of effectiveness section is toggled off. Let's toggle it on by clicking the checkbox. The test of effectiveness section is where you evaluate whether the control is operating as designed. The control workpaper links to the test steps in the risk and controls matrix, RCM, to guide you in how to perform a test of effectiveness for each control. If you have already added a sample set into your project, you can import it into this section for reference or documentation. Click the plus icon. Click the drop-down to view the available sample sets. For this example, we have already loaded a sample set into the project. Select MFA User Enrollment and Login Verification Sample. Click Save. The sample set includes the name of your sample, a description of how it was selected, the source, sampling method, population, and sample size. We cover how to create sample sets in another video. Here, all of the control's test steps are imported into this table. The tester can perform each step and record the results in the corresponding cell. They can also use AI to refine or enhance their responses. Let's practice. After drafting the test result for the first test step, let's click the AI icon to enhance it. Click Use Suggestion. Our AI suggestion was successfully applied to our test result cell. Let's move on to creating tables. Here, you can create custom tables for any additional testing or documentation necessary for the workpaper. Let's practice by clicking the plus icon. Give your new table a descriptive name, then specify the number of columns and rows you want it to include. Click Create to add your customized table to the Test of Effectiveness section. With a custom table, you can configure it further to your specific needs. You can change the title, column types and headers, and copy cells from other sources such as Excel. We go over this in more depth in another video. We have left the result cells blank to demonstrate the tick mark legend functionality. Let's start. Here, we can create a tick mark legend table to standardize how results are documented for each sample item. For example, using symbols like N for no exceptions found or Y for exceptions found. Let's practice creating one by clicking the plus icon. Now let's enter an example tick mark and description. We will type in N for no exceptions found. Click Add Row below. Now let's enter a tick mark and description for when exceptions are found. Now that our tick mark legend is complete, we can utilize it in our sample table. Let's add the tick marks to our result column in our table. Now our test of effectiveness section is complete. Let's select our conclusion by clicking the drop-down. Just like the test of design section, conclude on whether the evidence and testing documented in the test of effectiveness supports a conclusion of operating effectively or not. Click Operating Effectively. Now we are at the last section of the work paper. All we need to do is submit the work paper for approval. This section is enabled by default for most work papers, so we will practice selecting an approver and submitting the work paper for review and approval. Click the drop-down. Select Christopher Averitt for this example. If the tester wants to leave any context or commentary on their work, they can enter it here. As you can see, the work paper has been submitted to the approver of the work paper. The work paper sections on the left all change to the pending approval status to reflect this change. The approval history is also logged below. Thank you for working through this demonstration of how to complete and submit a control project work paper. Have a great day.